Hi, I'm Cindy Cross from Amber Ridge at Apsley, and today I'd love to tell you about plums. Of all the fruit trees in this enclosure, and there's 100 of them, the plum trees are the most consistently cropping trees of the lot. There are two main varieties of plum trees. There's blood plums and European plums. They need two varieties to cross-pollinate, so you need to buy two blood plum trees of different varieties so that you get a fruit set like this one. The way to test if a blood plum is ready to be picked is to give it a gentle squeeze with your fingers. If it gives, it's ready. If it's hard as a rock, leave it and it'll be ready soon. If you're making jam with your plums, it's a great idea to pick them slightly underripe. That way you get a great jam set. See you in the kitchen.
Well, the good thing about making jam is there's two ingredients. One of them is plums and the other one is sugar. And then after that, it's what you do with it. So we're going to stone 1 kilo of plums. Making jam's quite easy, but you can't make a big batch of jam. You don't get a very good set, which means the consistency of the jam once it's gone cold. So I'm after 1 kilo of plums here. If I was making this for the shop, which I normally do, I'd at least do 2 kilos, but for today's purposes, it goes quicker when you do 1 kilo. Very important when making strawberry jam, in particular any berry jam, not to go over 1 kilo, because the time it takes it to boil and do what it has to do, the jam loses its colour. So I'm going to pop it in the pan now, add a little bit of water, then cook it till it's mushy. I cheat a little bit with this recipe and I love a non-stick pan. So I'm just going to tip the plums into the pot and I'm going to add a little bit of water just to stop it sticking when it begins. If your plum is a really juicy plum, you won't actually need to add water, but these are quite on the dry side, so a little bit of water just to get started. If you've got a super high heat in the kitchen, we don't want to burn the fruit, so medium heat, but this is electric, so it's not going to get super hot anyway. I don't particularly like lumpy jam, so I think it's a really good idea to blitz the plums when they're all soft and pulpy, and you get this even consistency that's absolutely beautiful. So because it's really hot, it's a good idea to actually tilt the pan so you've got it absolutely immersed in all of the plums. Done. Doesn't take very long. Now, the easiest way to measure this jam to make any of your jams is equal quantity weight of plums, which was 1 kilo, to equal quantity of sugar, which is 1 kilo. So because it's hot, it's actually going to stir in really quickly, and then we're going to bring it on the boil, and I want a rapid boil. I want it bubbling, I want it nearly boiling over. So the quicker you bring this jam up to the boil, the more colour it's going to keep. So if you take ages and ages, it will be quite a brown colour jam, and if you do it really quickly, it'll stay lovely and ruby. Get back to the heat. Now this jam's been boiling for 15 minutes. It would probably be 25 minutes if you were doing a 2 kilo batch, but 15 for 1 kilo is plenty. It's also reduced a little bit, and I can tell it's ready to bottle. Now this has to be done while it's hot, and these jars are clean and dry. The lids are new, always, every time. So what I'm going to do is ladle the jam into the jar, put the lid on, turn it upside down for 3 minutes, and it's ready to store. The reason you preserve in the first place is when it comes to winter time, the vegetable garden in the orchard can be quite boring, particularly fruit-wise. This is a magnificent way of capturing the flavour of summer. Now, unopened, these jars will actually store for 12 to 18 months. And of course, once you open them, keep them in the fridge for 2 to 3 weeks. Lid goes on firm, upside down for 3 minutes. Now what that's doing is the heat of the jam, which remember is over 100 degrees, because it's not water, it's sugar, actually preserves the air in the jar and the lid of the jar. And there you have it, plum jam.